If expanding double brackets confuse you, this video will help you. Let's start by expanding these double brackets. Here we have x add 4 multiplied by x add 5. Remember, your first term here, x, should multiply everything in the second bracket. Therefore, x should multiply throughout the second bracket, which is x add 5. So x multiplying everything in the second bracket. Then we will have our add 4 multiplying everything in the second bracket as well. Okay, let's simplify, expand these. Single bracket. So x multiplied by x is x squared. Then x multiplied by 5 is 5x. Then 4 multiplied by x is 4x. And 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. Now remember that we have to simplify our like terms. So that's 5x add 4x. Therefore, x squared is equal to 5x add 4x, and that is 9x, and then add 20. Now, these are unlike terms. They can't be simplified any further, so we leave as is, and that's our answer. Okay, how about trying this question? You can pause the video and give it a go. Okay, let's start. Let's check your answer. So x multiplied by everything in the second bracket. So that's x multiplying everything in the second bracket. Then our 3, add 3, should multiply everything in the second bracket. So we change those double bracket into single bracket using the distributive law. Okay, x multiplied by x is x squared, and x multiplied by 2 will give you 2x. Then we have 3 multiplied by x, and that is 3x. Then 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Remember to simplify your like terms. So we will have x squared, and then 2x add 3x is 5x. And remember to add your 6. Now remember, this cannot be simplified any further as these are unlike terms. So this is your answer. Okay, let's look on some double brackets with different sign. Here we go. And we will expand. So again, let's convert these double brackets into single brackets using the distributive law, meaning our x should multiply everything in the second bracket. Here we go, x multiplying everything in the second bracket. Also, our minus 5 should multiply everything in the second bracket. So here we go, minus 5 multiplying everything in the second bracket. Now we can expand these single bracket. Remember, you can always watch this video here if you're finding it difficult to expand single bracket. Okay, let's start. X multiplied by x is x squared. And x multiplied by 6 will give you 6x, and then we have our minus 5, So minus 5 multiplied by x is minus 5x, and then minus 5 multiplied by 6 will give you minus 30. Again, remember to simplify your like terms. So now we'll have x squared, and that's 6x minus 5x will give you 1x minus 30. And that is your answer, as these are all unlike terms. Can't be simplified any further. Well, how about you trying this question? So you can pause the video and give it a try. Okay, let's check your answer. Again, x should multiply everything in the second bracket. So here we have our x multiplying throughout the second bracket. And then also your plus 3 should multiply everything in your second bracket. Okay, now let's expand those single bracket. X multiplied by x should give you x squared. Then x multiplied by minus 2, that should give you minus 2x. Then 3 multiplied by x will give you 3x. And then 3 multiplied by minus 2 should give you minus 6. So that's what we have. So here we have x squared, and then we have these like terms. And remember, when you're adding a negative, it is the same as subtracting. So remember, this 2 negative will cancel 2 of the positive, allowing us to have a positive x remaining. And then remember your minus 6. Now this cannot be simplified any further because these are unlike terms. Okay, let's try other questions with uh, different signs. Okay, now we have double brackets with um, different signs or same signs. Okay, so let's try. So again, remember we have a double bracket. We can write it in terms of single brackets using the distributive law. Okay, meaning our x should multiply throughout our second bracket, and our minus 5 should multiply throughout our second bracket as well. So now we have the single bracket. Let's expand, and again, if expanding single bracket is difficult for you, just check out this video on the right. It will help you to expand a single bracket. Okay, let's continue. X multiplied by x will give you x squared, and then x multiplied by minus 6 should give you minus 6x, and then minus 5 multiplied by x should give you minus 5x, and then minus 5 multiplied by minus 5 will give you a plus 30. So again, remember, we simplify our like terms. So this will give us 11x. So that's negative 11x, and then add your 30. So that is your answer. It cannot be simplified any further, as these are all unlike terms. So again, how about trying this one? You can pause the video and give it a go. Okay, let's check your answer again. Let's rewrite these double bracket as single bracket using the distributive law. Again, remember our x here should multiply throughout our second bracket. So multiply everything in your second bracket with your x. So that would be x multiplying throughout our second bracket. Then our minus 3 should multiply throughout our second bracket as well. So now we have single brackets. Let's expand. X multiplied by x is x squared. Then x multiplied by minus 2 should give you minus 2x. Then minus 3 multiplied by x is minus 3x, and then minus 3 multiplied by minus 2 will give you a positive 6. And remember, you always simplify your like terms. So that is x squared, and this will give you minus 5x, add 6. And this is your answer, as it cannot be simplified any further because these are all unlike terms. Okay, let's look at more difficult questions. Okay, here we have double brackets where our first term in the first bracket is 3x. Again, we write these double bracket as single brackets using distributive method. So our 3x should multiply everything in our second bracket. Then our minus 2 should multiply everything in the second bracket. Now we have 3x multiplied by x. And that is 3x squared. Then we'll have our 3x multiplied by minus 4. And that is minus 12x. Then minus 2 multiplied by x, that's minus 2x, and then minus 2 multiplied by minus 4, that is positive 8. Remember to simplify your like terms, so that's 3x squared, and then these are our like terms. So remember, in total this is minus 14x, add 8. Remember, you can't simplify this any further because these are all unlike terms. So that is your answer again. How about trying these questions? You can pause the video and have a go. Let's check your answer again. Remember to multiply throughout your second bracket with your 5x. So here we go, 5x multiplying everything in your second bracket. So that is 3x minus 2. Then our minus 3 should also multiply everything in your second bracket. Okay, let's expand these single bracket. Therefore, 5x multiplied by 3x should give you 15x squared. Then 5x multiplied by minus 2 should give you minus 10x. Then minus 3 multiplied by 3x should give you minus 9x. And then minus 3 multiplied by minus 2 should give you positive 6. And always remember to simplify your like terms. So that is 15x squared minus 19x. Then add here 6. And this cannot be simplified any further. So this is your answer. If this video helped, please like, share, and subscribe. And watch our next video on factorizing, which is the opposite of expanding, and this will help you in solving quadratic equations. So thanks.